Welcome to Gaming is in Session. This is our second episode on Pokemon Crystal. If you haven't listened before, we play 20% of a video game, decide on if we want to continue playing. Last week, we covered Pokemon Crystal, the first 6 hours, approximately a 30-hour game, and Alex decided to keep playing. But before we jump right back into how your experience has been, Alex, what I have no Gym Girl update. I know it's going to be a bummer for you, but what Pokemon is Native American? And this is going to come around. There's full circle moment here, but what Pokemon is Native American? This should be a bean question, but it won't be.
I feel like this is might be potentially racially insensitive. What Pokemon is native? What Pokemon is native to the American peninsula or American continent? Um,
You should have seen it by now.
Pidgeotto.
Pokehontas. Boom! Here's the thing, and the reason it's full circle is no, I haven't found me a Gym Girl update, but I do find Native Americans attractive. And I have to be careful around them because if I turn, if I turn on my Charmander, pants come right off. Here's the thing, Alex. Let Flygons be Flygons, a joke you don't even freaking get because you don't even understand Pokemon. There's a Pokemon called Flygon.
Oh, I could imagine.
What's that even supposed to
I
mean?
could imagine that there's a Pokemon named Flygon.
Why?
Wigglytuff. Is that a Pokemon? Probably.
Wigglytuff, yeah? You knew that was one. F you, dude. You
Are
are
you
just.
serious? Are you serious? Is Wigglytuff a real?
Yeah, there's Jigglypuff and Wigglytuff.
I literally made up a
Bull
Pokemon.
crap. You knew that.
I'm sending in an application to Game Freak. I'm coming out with new Pokemon left and right and center.
Dude, it was deep in there from the
All
time
right,
you
now let's do
probably
another one. Let's do another one. Dicklebrick.
Diglett, but not Digglebrick, you know.
No, this is an evolution of Diglett. This is Dicklebrick.
Oh, it's Doug Trio. Okay, here's the thing. We gotta hop into the gamer juice. I'm going full in. Folks, let me give you a piece of advice, life advice from Adam. Do not eat a pint of gelato, an entire pizza, and then suck down prebiotic soda. It doesn't end well. Didn't know, but now that I'm clean, I've borderline done an entire colon cleanse. I'm going back in for round two. I've got this Pops prebiotic soda. It's cherry lime. Why
What
not?
is prebiotic?
It has all this freaking like prebiotic gut health crap in there. Like, I don't know. It's
Sounds like
something
a
for your.
scam to me.
I mean, it probably is, but there's less sugar than actual soda, and they've got decent flavors. Although today I've realized all of these that I've tried have sucked. So I
Mm-hmm.
need to stop. I bought blackberry pomegranate juice. I thought it was natural, but it ended up being prebiotic crap too. Horrible.
Pre-
Prebiotic sub whatever. This
um, how is it?
terrible.
Yeah. My
Terrible.
game. Okay, so of course last week I had you choose. So this week I'm gonna drink the bacon soda with
Yeah.
chocolate bacon soda. That might actually be good. I'm sure it's just real sugary. But Adam, it's a special occasion. It is of the recording of this. It is January 17th. If you don't know, that is the birthday of the late great Muhammad Ali. So we're having some goat fuel, Muhammad Ali goat fuel,
I
in honor
did
of the Louisville Lip.
I did not know that. Very nice. And well, you gotta, yeah. Well, I guess you gotta drink them both, so it doesn't matter which one you drink
I mean,
first.
this is watermelon fruit punch. Actually, not bad.
That is racist.
I mean, that's the flavor of the drink, Adam. I didn't.
Well, then, who made the drink?
Goat fuel.
Goat fuel. You are racist.
Goat fuel. Let me use my nail clippers to open my. That's right. I did not prepare again, and I got
Well,
to
you
use
don't
nail
gotta
clippers.
drink the bacon. Save the bacon for the second segment.
I mean, okay, we'll keep talking while I try to open this. I'm going to
To,
cut myself
to
in
suck
half.
down, to suck down that bean you're gonna eat. So
Yes.
fan shout out time.
Yes.
My favorite one this week, Tuganov, who knows? Great intro. I usually listen to the podcast and don't get the funny vid clips. We've got a little intro video clip thing on our YouTube. I hope you guys have a wonderful 2025. I hope you have a wonderful 2025. It's special to us that you were listening and then you went to YouTube just to see our ugly mugs. I anticipate you being an audio only listener from this point forward after seeing Alex's freaking decrepit face. I wouldn't watch anymore. But either way,
Decrepit.
regardless of how you get your content, thank you, and we hope you're enjoying it.
It's more charming than I expected it to be. That he was just like, "Hey, thank you. Hope you have a good 2025." I don't say that to any of the people that I listen to. I don't, he's a great listener.
You're a
Tugging is a great
bum.
listener.
That's why. You're a bum.
How many people have you commented on the video saying, "I hope you have a great 2025, Adam"?
I don't.
Aside from all the girls that you're like gooning
all the
over,
COOs.
all
I
the
don't. I don't comment on YouTube ever, ever, never.
See, and obviously this dude never does either because he's normally just listening. But today he was like, "I'm gonna get on YouTube. I'm gonna leave a comment. Tell these, you know what? I hope you have a better 2025." Tugging off. Next comment: Speedster FTW10. What ways have people dropped their standards to just to get a social unknown ranking known as views? This time is doomed. This was in relation to your move controller ball sucking video. Now, what I want to point out is that this Joker, this crackhead, obviously doesn't understand that we were helping people out with that video, teaching them how to get better tracking in the PSVR 1.
If you've ever played VR with dirty balls, you know it's very difficult. And
What does he think is wrong? Oh, his mind is in the gutter. He sees a grown man licking balls clean and he's thinking it's something sexual when really it is technical, it is expertise, and it is helpful. And I think if you look at the view count, you understand that's why it's got so many views, is because people need that advice and they use that advice.
it's good content. Speaking, same thing, same video, just what is it? Fort nutted? Great, nice. Fort nutted tits, whatever. Inappropriate. That's the comment. How? Again, I showed you how. Now, if you don't like my cleaning method, use a rag like a jabroni. That's fine. I just showed you an effective manner. You don't need cleaning solutions.
You have to pay money to buy a rag.
I like to keep chemicals out of the household, all right? So sorry if I like to use the methods that Mother Teresa taught me and Aunt Jemima and those other pillars of American society. Next.
Next is Matt is here. He commented on your YouTube short of you playing Res Infinite in VR with your hanging sex chair. And he just said, I mean, he messed it up. He's trying to reply to us and he left it as one word, but he just basically said respect.
Yeah.
Well, I think he was commenting like, it's actually not Arby's roast beef man. It's called Hacker. And you were just like, well, Hacker looks like an Arby's roast beef man.
In my soul, his name is Arby's roast beef man.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I mean, yeah, I forgot how sketchy that looked. I mean, that was first, it was so painful. Do I regret it? No. Would I be embarrassed if anyone I knew ever actually saw that? Yes. But that's not where we're at. We're here.
I remember the video you sent me. The video you sent me, you first sitting in the sex chair and you're just hovering going, ow.
That was probably better than the YouTube short itself, to be honest. But you know, oh baby, he's taking it. Bacon. It can't be that bad, right?
It tastes pretty good. It just tastes pretty good. It's not refreshing. Like if you're drinking it to be refreshed, it's no go. But if you're just like it's a liquid dessert, it's not bad.
Does it taste like bacon?
It tastes like chocolate and it tastes like bacon, but both in a good way.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a bummer because that's
okay.
not fun.
We got a bean
But
game coming up. I'll get my comeuppance.
You will. What is fun is Pokemon Crystal. So let's talk about it. Alex, I obviously have gotten way farther than you at this point. I shouldn't have, and I apologize. I just beat the game. I said, screw it. I'm not going to wait on this jabroni. I was watching football. I beat the game. But so for me, in 12 hours total, mind you, I did you a service. This is not how this podcast should work. You decide after 20% if you're gonna finish the game or not. But I let you only play another 6 hours because I'm a forgiving, graceful, merciful man. How far did you get?
I got another 6 hours into it. However, caveat is something happened between when we stopped recording last time and I started playing again. I like lost a save file or something happened, and hours 2 through 6 of my first run were gone, just gone. I had to pick up before I even got the first badge or something like that. Um, I lost some of my Pokemon that I had grinded to get. I lost my progress in the Sprout Tower, which was kind of a waste of time anyway, so I didn't even worry about that. So it was, yeah. So I basically had to double back, but I did cover all that ground again, and then I made it twice as far as I was previously. So I got up to, but not including the fourth badge, the ghost area badge.
Why would you not just fight and get the badge and call it a day?
I'll explain that to you if I can explain it to you
I
later.
bet you got your butt handed to you. I do have a question. So
Yeah,
you obviously had to play some of the game again.
yeah.
That gave you a little bit of what it feels like to be like us
To
who
have
played it
knowledge, yeah.
before and play it. Obviously, I'm assuming it had to go much faster, right? You knew exactly what you were doing and where to go, stuff like that. How did that experience feel compared to playing it and you've never played it before?
Um, it felt more efficient in the sense that like, oh, I see a Geodude, I know one of those, let's capture him right now. Um, and there was less like bobbling around, wasting my time reading, talking to everybody, figuring out what the hell's going on. I just know, oh, nobody's going to say anything of value. I don't need to buy anything. I don't need to go through all this tall grass. Let's just get to the badge and get on with your life.
So did
Um,
you like that? Like, did it make it more enjoyable?
a bit, I think, yeah, a bit. And I focused a bit more on leveling up bushfire. What's it, Quilava, whatever.
Yep. Yep.
Cyndaquil. Cyndaquil is the second evolution.
Nope. Quilava, but
Quilava.
yep.
I called it bushfire. Looked like pubic flame. I spent a lot of time leveling that bad boy up to like almost 30 or something. I just used it for everything. It was burning up everybody.
Yeah.
So
That's how
that
you
that made things easier too, more efficient. The thing is that there's like a hard line to ride, right? Because if the combat's too easy, then every fight you get in is just like, my God, can I just hit a button to make this be over? Because we know what's going to happen. I'm going to fight 20 guys, then go to the Pokemon Center and heal up, and then fight 20 more guys, and I'm never going to be at risk of losing. But if the fight's too hard, then it's just like, okay, now I'm just going to fight one guy, almost lose all my Pokemon, then go to the Poke Center and then heal them all up, and then just do it again. So it's like it there's like there's a sweet spot you got to be in terms of level for your Pokemon to where the combat's engaging enough to be like not mad when you hit a random encounter. Um, I will say though, for the most part, I was kind of in that sweet spot. Whenever I started getting annoyed by random encounters, I was like, all right, it's time for me to hightail it to like the next area and try to get a badge or something.
And I think some of the lower level, like they can't have it too hard, or if you get a lower level Pokemon that you need to raise up to
Mm-hmm.
get the Quilava's level, you would be screwed. You would never be able to train them, right? So I think, but I do agree. There is that balance. So your team, as of now, who is it?
Right now, I pulled it up on my analog pocket here so I can read it to you. At the top of the team, we got Skiploom. Does that
Okay.
I thought I had a name for that one. I guess not. That's the evolution of Hoppip.
Yep.
Skiploom. Hoppip was doing good for me. Then when they became Skiploom, it seemed like it sucked. Uh, Hoppip had tackle, but I dropped Hoppip off at that old lady who would evolve, like grow your Pokemon for you, and I paid her
Yep.
800 large, and I got Skiploom back, and tackle wasn't around anymore. And
Oh,
instead, I had like poison, stun, and sleep, which is all right. I
yeah.
used poison in one time, and it was kind of okay. After that, I got another egg. I got an egg from an old dude. Um, Kind of bummed about that. It takes up a whole Pokemon space, and it ends up being like a freaking star inside of an egg again. Like that sucks. I hated that one.
Wait, who
Um,
was it?
I don't know who it is. It's an egg.
Oh, so it hasn't hatched yet. Okay.
Hasn't hatched yet. Somebody gave either does the old dude give you an egg? The old dude who raises Pokemon for you? I think he gives you an egg. Yeah.
I didn't talk to him, and it's been a while since I don't like the eggs, so I never
Okay,
yeah.
I just figured it seemed crucial to the story to have these eggs, so I was like, I'm gonna walk around with the
Yeah,
egg.
essentially, I think what's gonna happen. Well, I won't spoil it unless I won't spoil
Um,
it. Never mind.
let me guess, something's gonna come out of the egg, and I'm gonna be pissed.
No, no, no. It's a good thing, but I don't want to spoil it because if you keep playing, then you know what's gonna happen,
Okay,
who's gonna hatch, and that's not cool. So
I I named this one Dick Tiger, which is a famous boxer. I'm not being crude. Um, I think it was a Growlithe,
yeah, yeah,
which I captured that because it was one of the better looking, the cooler looking Pokemon, only to find out that it's a bit redundant because I have a Quilava already.
yeah. It is,
But it
but
has a bite maneuver, which seemed useful. And so I've been leveling up him a bit. He's at level 16. Got my Geodude named him Geo Metro, grinding the hell out of him. He's up to 20. Here's what I love, and you said it was bad. I love Mud Slap. That's my favorite move in the game because it has a chance to decrease accuracy and do damage. And what's even better is I think about them picking up mud off the ground and slapping somebody in the face like a total biatch. It's I like Mud Slap. I got Rock Throw, I got Mud Slap, I got Magnitude too, which so Magnitude is like it's an earthquake, right? How does Magnitude work when you got all these Pokemon that fly? Like that obviously shouldn't be hurting them.
the I'm guessing that with the magnitude crap falls and then it hits him.
Well, this is what bothers me is I see Pokemon that like this should not be bothered by this, and I get hit, and they'll say it you got hit, but it did nothing to you. And so I didn't use Magnitude because it's like that's gonna happen to them, right? Like if I spray a water Pokemon with water, it's like nothing really happens.
Yeah.
But sometimes it does happen. I don't know. Anyways, Metro he uses Mud Slap, Rock Throw, and Magnitude, and then of course Tackle. I like him the most maybe. Bushfire is my Quilava, level 27. I was wrong, level 27. And then I caught an Abra, a wild Abra, and I was in Goldenrod City, which is worst city in the game. Goldenrod City, and some dude was like, "Hey, you want to trade an Abra for my Machop?" And I saw a Machop, and he looked kind of cool. And so I traded the Abra for the Machop. But the thing that immediately pissed me off right away is first, the Machop was only like level 10, and I'm running around with level 20s. And the second thing was his name Machop was he had his name was Muscle. And if you trade a Pokemon, you can't change a name. And Muscle is the stupidest name
Because
that you can
he's
have for a Pokemon. So
rip. I mean, come on. It's a yeah. Okay, so that your team?
that's my team. Sorry.
That's well, you went way more in depth than I wanted you to, but that's all right. I beat the game with three Pokemon. They're not even good Pokemon, I would argue. And that's to last time I was afraid I was too I don't know what you call it. Like, I scared you into thinking there was only one way to win. This should prove to you that that is definitely not the case. Now, granted, I knew what moves to give them and stuff, but I had a Poliwhirl, which isn't even the final evolution. I have that Togetic, which is just like a normal flying Pokemon, came from the Togepi that hatched. He's not great. And then I had my little Typhlosion. Beat the whole game with those guys. I had
Did
other
it
ones there for like HM slaves and stuff, but I wanted to wait to get to the second half of the game and catch some of those guys, and that's what I did. But
So you keep talking about this like sexual slave thing. What is a HM slave?
so there are you've picked up TMs, right?
Hmm.
They're technical machines. They are something that you can teach a Pokemon once and then it goes away. So
Okay.
if you have a TM called Psychic, which is a really good one, you could teach one Pokemon Psychic and that's it. HMs, you can teach them a bunch of things, but you can't forget the move. Whereas a TM, they can forget it. If I like gave Geodude Mud Slap and I was like, I don't want Mud Slap, I could have him, Rock Throw could take over the spot that Mud Slap is in. But if you teach Geodude Strength, which is an HM, he cannot forget Strength. So you have to strategize is that HM a good enough move to permanently take one of my 4 spots? Now, there is an NPC somewhere in the game that will allow you to forget the move, but then there are some areas that you have to know surf.
So what
You
is it?
have to
How
be
does a
able to.
slave come into this? HM slave. You have Pokemons that are HM slave. What does that mean?
So there are Pokemon that can learn a lot of the HMs. So you grab him to just sit in your party, you teach him all of the HMs, and then that's the only reason you have him.
Why
So
are
when
you
you
teaching him that? Why are you teaching him the HMs?
because you may need get to a point where you need to cut down a bush. But cut is a
Okay, so
sucky
that's
move. I don't want
yeah.
to teach it to my egg or my grass Pokemon. So I'm going to teach it to the slave who I don't use anyhow, and I didn't take up a spot.
So it exists primarily to serve as a key. That Pokemon just exists to be a key for cut, for spraying water or whatever. What was it? There was another one like that too. Flash.
There's a bunch
Um,
of them. Yeah. Flash,
okay.
Strength, Waterfall, Whirlpool, all of them. Yeah.
Seemed I didn't enjoy that mechanic, the whole gatekeeping business where it's like, okay, I got to teach somebody cut now just to get through this damn tree. And I only have one poke for some reason only one Pokemon could do cut, and it was the only Pokemon that didn't have anything that looks like it could cut anything. Why can't Geodude do cut? He's got hands, karate chop. Can't do cut. Nope.
That's not cutting. That's not cutting. Okay.
Why can
Um,
Quilava do cut?
he he's a freaking what do you call it? A hedgehog. Hedgehogs can't cut. They don't got
No,
claws.
no, Quilava can cut. Quilava was the only one that could cut, so I had to waste a move on
Oh, you
Quilava.
said why could he? Well, then that's I don't know. Maybe who knows? I don't know.
Okay.
Okay, moving on. So you had there were some ways you felt like you wanted to continue playing the game. You saw some potential after the first 6 hours. Do you feel the same way about the second 6 hours?
I still see the potential. Um, what I will say is that if there's not a lot in the game in the first 6 hours that you like, there's not going to be more in the game in the second 6 hours to make you like it more. So it's if you like what you get at the top, you're going to get a lot more of that. If you don't necessarily like what you get at the top, you're not going to get much new to make it better in the next 6 hours. I mean, they introduce a couple things, right? Like I got a bicycle, I can move around faster. Stupidest thing in the world, they automatically take you off the bike every once in a while. No, leave me on the bike, glue me on the bike. Don't ever get me off the bike. Um, they had like the natural park, which was kind of a fun little battleground to fight in. There was so I mentioned Goldenrod City. They have a pachinko parlor where you can just freaking gamble and win prizes from gambling. What a freaking time sink. I mean, I got a method where it's like I could be almost profitable every time, right? I turned 50 coins. I turned 50 coins into 100 coins. It took me like 10 minutes to do. And then I was like, okay, I got some prizes. Let's go see what's happening here. Oh, you need like 9,000 coins to get a TM or something. This is the stupidest thing. Maybe I could be riskier with my bets or something, but that is the dumbest. There's like they kept talking a lot about like a Pokemon radio and listen and gets a quiz and you win a magical prize. And it's like, I don't understand how I'm supposed to get this radio. I don't understand how to play the game they're asking me to play. There's something about secret numbers and you get a special secret number, you get a magical prize. I don't care enough about it. It's obtuse enough to where I can't accidentally do it. And it seems too complicated enough to where I can only entertain this aspect of the game if I devote an inordinate amount of time to the game. Um, so like those are the extra things that get thrown into it.
But they're optional, right?
They're
Like
no, they're you're right. They're optional, but I'm saying like what is different in the second 6 hours from the first 6 hours? They just got weird things kind of thrown in there that
yeah, yeah.
don't sweeten the pot for me. I mean the Pokemon are a bit more varied, right? I ran into the ghost Pokemon. Um, my rival has that freaking alligator that has the squirt gun move, the water gun move. That
Yeah.
thing's a wrecking ball.
He
Um,
squirts. Yeah.
he squirts. So the enemies did get tougher, um, but not like crazy tough. I did spend way too much time trying to get a freaking squirt bottle so that I could squirt water on a plant so that it would get out of the way. Can you catch that Pokemon, by the way? There's a tree that's weird. You
Yeah,
got to
yeah,
get a
you sure
squirt
can.
bottle.
He's
Okay,
good. He's
I
good.
I knocked him down to almost all of his health being gone. He had like 2 hit points left. I used a normal Pokemon ball and it busted free. I used an Ultra Pokemon ball and it busted free. And then I thought, that's the stupidest POS. I finally have a reason to use an Ultra Pokemon ball. I'm never using another one of these damn things ever again. If you're gonna make it special, you better make it work. Because
I mean, it
what
does
am I
have a
gonna do?
higher accuracy, but it's still a percentage, right?
But what am I gonna do? Use a Ultra Pokemon ball on a Geodude? No, you use the big guns against the big guns, and I used the big guns against the big guns, and the game smacked me down and said, "You stupid idiot, using the
Yeah, but
special
you
weapon."
can't just catch everything on the oh, I use an ultra ball. That's what a master ball's.
No, no. But that's the point. Is like it. I'm not catching. That's why I have one Ultra Ball. That's why I don't have 20 of them. I have one, and I save it for the situation when I really want to use it. I should be rewarded for being shrewd and saving that Ultra Ball for a situation. Not to mention, I did everything else right. I knocked him down to 1 hit point. I beat his ass to the ground. I
It's
used. I wore him out with a normal Pokemon ball, and then I threw an Ultra Ball at him, and the game says, "Oh, you stupid idiot! You haven't spent 500 hours playing this game, so you don't get to have me." Piss me off. Piss me off.
so you're it's still I think I agree with you though, like how far you are. It's a shame you're not farther. But again, you're playing the game like the first time you've ever played, right? That's just how it is. The combat and the strategy do get more varied the further in. You're still in like the baby phases of the game, I would say. But you're starting to see it diversify. The game corner, the options are to gamble to slowly make money, or you can actually just keep buying coins. So,
So
I mean,
here's a sorry, I do want to ask about this. There's a limited amount of money in the game, right? Because
yeah,
you can't fight the same Pokemon trainer over and over again and get more and more money forever. Um,
technically, like I could fight Schoolboy Allen because he calls, like every 30 minutes. But
yeah,
you're right. So they're essentially yes, there is a cap. Yes.
so it that's one thing that bothers me is that there is a limited amount of money in the game, more or less. And if you, it'd be very easy to paint yourself into a corner where, man, I really need to be able to go to this next area with some potions and some super potions and stuff like that. But guess what? You can't buy anything because you don't have any money. And guess what? You can't make any more money because you already beat all the trainers in the area. So what can you sell Pokemon? I don't think so. And
You
there's
could
not
sell
random,
objects and stuff, yeah.
but there's a limited number of objects. That's what I'm saying. Like the
I
economy's
mean,
busted.
I technically you're correct, but you would have to royally F up for that to happen.
Well, I might have royally effed up. We'll get to it a little bit, but
How? What did you spend your money on?
potions and super potions, man. I'm trying to survive these
Oh
mean
my, how
streets.
many do you have? 50?
None right now.
Oh my, you must just suck. But yeah, I've never had issues with money. And there
No,
is a point at
yeah.
the end of the game, you fight the final four, and you could keep fighting them over and over and over, and you'll have infinite money. But that's at the
I
end of the game, right? That doesn't help you now.
I think it would make sense if they had like a mechanism that you could refight the guys, maybe get less experience, like have a tail of like less experience and less money, but you could still be getting some money. Like, let me
Yeah.
double or triple dip to try to get some more currency up. So because that's the thing. I didn't run out of money, right? I bought potions when I needed them and stuff, but there's no incentive to experiment because I would be doing this stuff at the expense of potentially needing potions later. So like I had no reason to try to buy like a couple different Pokemon balls, see what this like apricot is or whatever. What is flower mail? I don't know, but I'm not going to waste money figuring it out because I might need that money later, and there's not going to be another way to make that money back. So like all that stuff was like
Ah, I mean, I think if you play more, or maybe after the first run through or something, like you figure out money really isn't that big of a deal. There is an abundance of money. You should you should not be running into money problems. But,
maybe
you
it's because
know,
my mom is taking all of it.
freaking yeah, your mom, she earns it too. Hard. She earns it the hard way. So,
I want to catch my
the
mom.
well, I mean, she's a hottie. So, the yeah, I'll start with some of my gripes as we start to end the segment a little bit here, but some of my gripes I had, I didn't realize until I went through this game that Gen 2 they started to try, and I understand why. they're trying to vary the Pokemon and the ways in which you catch them to make it a little more fun, experimental, less boring, I suppose. Like Gen 1, there was no night and day. There was no, like, there were some of them that you did need to trade or you needed to add the stone. Like, oh, I have to give Poliwhirl Water Stone. He turns into Poliwrath. But you could buy the stones. It was very, like, you ran into them. You had to, like in Gen 1. Gen 2, some of the Pokemon you have to catch at night, which I don't play at night, right?
Yeah.
Or you have to catch in the morning, or you have to trade, or you have to have certain stones, but you can't just buy a leaf stone. You have to talk in the second half of the game in Kanto, talk to an old man who says, you know what? I have to see a Pokemon with a tongue. And then I had to go find a licky tongue, catch the licky tongue, show it to him. He's like, oh, now I need to see a green Pokemon that looks like a ball. I had to wait till nighttime, catch an Oddish, show him the Oddish, then he gave me the Leaf Stone. That is ridiculous to just evolve a Pokemon. I know, like, some people could argue, oh, it adds variation and some intrigue, and they're not just handing you evolutions. But that was easily the most annoying point of the game. If I have a Pokemon, let me evolve them, you
So
know?
can I drill in on that point, that just that situation you described?
Yeah.
Um, if you didn't know that Lickitung existed, imagine how do you find out that that's what you got to get is a Lickitung? What's the likelihood you would have encountered a Lickitung prior to talking to that dude? High, medium, low?
Um, I'd say low.
And then compounding that, you're playing, if you play Game Boy on a Game Boy Color, he's talking about a green Pokemon that looks like a ball. What is the likelihood, one, would have encountered an Oddish, and two, would have known that it was green?
That one, if the issue with the Oddish is you can only catch him at night, but he is very common at night.
But
So if
how would
you
you know
ever
to catch him
walk
at
through
night
the,
then?
huh?
How would you know that you catch him at night? You only see it if you played at night, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I'm maybe being a little bit unfair, but then the last thing is then it's now you have what you need in order to evolve your poly whirl. Um,
Uh-huh.
how did you know that that's what you needed to evolve your poly whirl?
The from the first game. I mean, if you are going in and you know nothing about
Yeah.
Pokemon and you don't talk to people about it and you won't use online as a resource, it would be pretty friggin' difficult.
And but see, I recognize that imagining myself as a kid playing this game, 200 hours deep into it, trying to get all the Pokemon and accidentally figuring out how to evolve into a Poliwhirl would feel magical. That would be an amazing experience for me to stumble upon evolving a Poliwhirl or something like that. But then also thinking about the amount of time as a kid I would have had to spend replaying the game entirely at night to figure out what can happen at night and what can't happen at night, right? That kind of stuff would and there's no signposting. Now, there's no hint, right? I can't go to the Pokemon library and read random books that's going to fill me in on this information. Maybe I can, but it didn't seem like that was really available to me. Professor Oak was pretty tight-lipped and busy when I talked to him. So like that's something that bothers me a bit is that the game is entirely progress and discovering the game is entirely incumbent on you discussing this with your classmates or somebody else playing Pokemon, which I I get it, right? The whole game is designed around you battling and playing with your friends. But as me, a grown up with limited time, it just is frustrating that the game is so walled off unless you have a cohort of people to play the game in parallel with. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. And I think we talked about last time, without having the ability, like I remember being psyched the first time that like I'm probably gonna butcher the name, Magnemium or whatever, the grass Pokemon. We were like, you couldn't wait to get on the bus to be like, I evolved him. I evolved him. He evolves
Yeah.
at 36. Or like, that was brought so much joy. But you're right now, if you're playing by yourself and you don't know the stuff, you got to use online, right?
Yeah.
And granted, that somewhat lessens it, but I think that's necessary if it annoys you. And I mean, I don't consider that cheating. It is what it is, right? And the games nowadays, the newer games, still do that crap, right?
Yeah.
And people aren't on the bus, right? I got friends who are adults that play Pokemon, the newer ones, and they have the same issue. They don't know, but I guess they still got the online. Eventually, it'll go on YouTube or online or something, and you'll learn, right? But so they've got online forums and stuff. So, but yeah, that was one gripe I had that I didn't love. I almost made us play the Gen 1 games, but it's a little, it could get, they've got glitches. The artwork isn't as pretty. They don't have the animations. It's a like if you get like two Pokemon, it's friggin' rigged. You're unbeatable, which in a way is like kind of cool.
That would have been
But
good. That would have been a good starting point for me.
I don't know if you would have. I don't know if you would have liked it. It's also like less obvious where you go. I feel like it's a little more. I don't know. Either way, I've got one other gripe we'll talk about at the end of the break. Any last comments before we hop into the break? Come back with a bean bet and then talk about more gripes, and then ultimately, are we going to keep playing or not?
Yeah, no more we got stuff to say after the break. I want to talk about Gen 1 a little bit, discuss some stuff about that with you. But yeah, we'll see you guys after la break.
It is segment 2 of Gaming is in Session. We're talking about Pokemon Crystal. Alex, we're going back to AA. We're going back to Adam's anecdotes, and I really wanted to talk about this because I feel there's a connection here. We were just talking about it. I after work went to Meyer today because there is a Pokemon trading card game release called Prismatic Evolution. Really big set, tons of cool cards. You know, it's the most anticipated set in a long, long time. The guy in front of me, they've got Pokemon cards. There's a line of people. There's a couple dudes. There's specifically one guy in front of me, and he looks at the rest of all of the cards on the shelf, and he like chuckles. And of course, there's not like a ton of product, right? And he's like, "Do you see that?" That's what he says. As he picked up every single pack, he grabbed every box, every sticker collection, every poster collection. Sir, I see that you're a douche. He bought the whole thing, Alex. There was a child in front. I was here. There was a father and a child in front of me. They got nothing because the guy had to be 42. Complete dickbag. Dead serious. $700 worth of Pokemon that he bought. Wow, people were in freaking line. I despise these street level capitalists. All they want, these scalpers, they buy all these things, they take them to freaking eBay, they buy them from GameStop, they buy them from Target, they put them up 3 times. We looked at over the break. 3 times the price of the box they put on eBay, and it worked. People are still willing to buy it. I don't have the time to follow Pokemon restocks and smash the refresh button and camp out, dude. I'm sorry. That's not worth it for me. It is horrible. Tickets, shoes, cards, graphic cards, Barbie, Hot Wheels, you name it. These load of losers are dying to make a quick buck, and the hobbyist is paying the price. The scalpers, they say get good. I say get a life. Hate these people.
Adam, so I really want to ask Adam, if you had got your hand on one of the prismatic collections, what would you have done with it?
Oh, I would have ripped it. I would have ripped it. Ripped it and lived with it, baby.
Oh, you would
That's
have opened it. Okay, okay. I thought you were definitely gonna turn around and sell it yourself.
no, you dickbag. I do not do that. Are you kidding me? No, I rip it. It's fun.
No, because
That's what bothers me so much, Alex. Like
okay,
surely you have in your life sat in line for a game console, right? When they had these
yeah.
midnight releases and everyone was excited. Imagine, and maybe has happened to you, some freaking douchebag, and they don't really do it with consoles. They limit it for the most part. But what dude like bought the last one and you saw him immediately put on eBay or offer up or Craigslist at
Oh,
twice the price? It's infuriating.
I saw it happen. What was I? Might have been the PS5. There's something coming out, and I like went to GameStop at like midnight when they did the opening, and dude was in line, and he walked in and grabbed one, and immediately walked out, and some dude from the parking lot walked up with like $1,000 and handed it to him, and he just handed it over. Like
Oh,
it was, and it was shady as hell. Like it looked like there was about to be a stabbing if things didn't go right. It's weird that like at 12:05, a bunch of cars show up and just get in the parking lot and walk out with cash in hand and hands them over to people who've been like camping. Oh, it's so seedy. I agree. I hate that that's the way it goes, and like especially for a game console, right? The the majority of people waiting in line aren't there because they want to turn around and sell it. They're there because they're genuinely interested. They really want to get that console and like have a
yeah.
good time and play. And so like they're earning it by being there. The Pokemon card thing, I don't. I guess there's like collectors and stuff. So it does seem like the majority of the rarity is based on people being able to sell stuff though, like the economy of the games rather than the game itself. So it's a bit harder, but I still see what you're saying. Like it's fun for you like collecting them at the very least. That's annoying, and
No,
it's all.
and I think the other thing is just the absolute lack of respect for it. I mean, for me, whatever, right? If he bought some stuff and the kid bought the rest of it, he's like an 8-year-old kid. Yeah, man, rip the packs, buy all of them, right? But the fact that he had a kid behind him and like six other people and chose to buy all of it, left nothing. Like, are you that crummy of a human that obviously he is? Don't get me. I am. I don't know. I don't even.
Maybe something will
Thanks for
happen.
getting me hot and bothered, Alex.
Maybe you heard about what happened with the PS5. Was it the PS5 Pros that people went out like the scalpers got all the PS5 Pros and then like nobody wanted to buy them, and so they lost a bunch of money.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
maybe it was the
perfect.
PS. It was like, or maybe the PS5. That happened recently. Oh no, it was the Portal, PlayStation Portal, which ended up being kind of good success. But people bought a bunch of them, and then nobody like they weren't hard to find. They got restocked within like 5 days, and so these guys had hundreds of PS or PlayStation Portals, and I couldn't sell them. So I think that's. I hope that's what ends up happening.
It won't. It won't. I know how the Pokemon Center does this stuff. It won't happen. We're screwed. We're screwed.
You can't pre-order it. Like they don't let you pre-order these cards.
They're bots, man. Immediately they're gone.
That's yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oof.
Hey, that this is aside the point. I am gonna feel a lot better when we play a bean game and you eat a bean. So let's do it.
Well, I wanted to do. We got to circle back to the gripe real quick, Adam. I
Oh,
have a
you
question
okay?
for
We're
you.
gonna do grapes first. Fair enough.
One
Okay, I
last
got
thing, yeah.
I got one more grape, or do you want to go first?
I'll go first. I just want to ask because you mentioned Pokemon Red and Blue Gen 1. What is it about, like, you play Pokemon 1 and 2, or Red and Blue, and Pokemon Crystal comes out. Is that Gen 2 or Gen 3?
Crystal is Gen 2.
Okay. Pokemon Crystal comes out. What are you excited about when you hear Pokemon Crystal comes out?
So number one, there's a whole new set of Pokemon, right?
Okay. Okay.
New trainers, new a
What does
whole
a train what difference does a trainer make?
different strategies. Like there's different. They had the dark type, the
So that's
fairy
different
type.
that's different Pokemon, not different strategies, different Pokemon.
Well, there are different. What do you call it? Types too. So not just the Pokemon, but the types. So
So
that's
that's just two
strategy.
parallel games of rock paper scissors, right?
I mean, if you simplify it to that point, I guess
No,
yeah.
well, I mean, like there's different types, but like a dark Pokemon has no special affinity, or there's nothing special about a dark Pokemon versus a fire Pokemon, is there?
No.
It's just happens to be two things. Okay. All right. I'm just
Yeah.
just checking.
Yeah. But that the and then just the trainers and like the Elite Four, the new strategy of it. Again, for me, even replaying the games or even new games, like I just played Moemon, right? One of
Hmm.
the most enjoyable things for me, and I've never seen any of those Pokemon. I've never played the game. I don't know what they're doing. Like I was just like how you feel right now. I still loved figuring out, oh, how can I compose this team to be invincible? And with this game and the games later on, they start having pairings to where like some of the Pokemon are, for example, like Cloyster is ice and water, which you're like, okay, who cares? Duh. But depending on their pairing, because he's ice, he might not be super effective. Like Thunder is not super effective against him, which makes him stronger. If you were only poking, if you're only water, any Thunder move is going to wreck him, right?
So they can have dual types. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So those, it's just kind of fun. That's
Yeah,
what
yeah.
people get excited for. The new Pokemon, the new regions, the new strategy. And I feel like there's something about it's relatable. It's not too over the top. Like, keep it simple, make it fun. That's what people like, in my opinion.
No, I mean all that stuff makes sense. My what I feel like is that the joy of Pokemon for most people is heavily derived from how much you are interested in seeing a new Pokemon pop up in your Pokédex that you haven't encountered before. Like, how much enjoyment do you get out of encountering these Pokemon? The combat, like, there's a lot of moves and stuff, but there doesn't seem to be that much depth in like the combat of the game, the battling of the game, at least in terms of single player game. Now, if I were battling with my friends all the time, I might get more involved with it, but that's the same thing as like a fighting game, right? Like if all my friends are playing Street Fighter 2 and then I play Street Fighter 2, I'm gonna have more fun with Street Fighter 2. But just playing Street Fighter 2 by myself isn't a lot of fun. Um, and then but that to me seems like the thing. If I'm only getting a kick out of seeing one out of every 10 new Pokemon that I encounter, then like when a new one comes out, it's like, okay, it's a new spreadsheet of Pokemon to slowly read over while walking around in this grid all the time. So that's what I wonder is like, okay, Pokemon Crystal comes out. There's not really a fundamental change to the gameplay. It's really just like, what if I could take a pill and forget all the Pokemon that exist and then just play Pokemon again? Which granted, I could see that's why people like, if you liked it the first time, why wouldn't you like it again? But it does seem to me like they're kind of stuck and that there's no evolution in the actual Pokemon game design. And I think that becomes apparent as you get into like the Switch Pokemon games and stuff like that, where these newer Pokemon games come out and they're like glitchy and they have like technical issues. And I wonder, like, does Game Freak do anything other than update a database of what potential Pokemon could be? Um,
I mean, they've got like nowadays, and I don't play the new ones, to be
yeah,
honest. But from what I've heard, because I've got friends who play them, they say, they've got more Pokemon. You can now ride the Pokemon. It's a 3D world. They have events. They have like mega Pokemon. They've got Pokemon raids. So it's become more of like almost a multiplayer online game that you don't have to rely on that, but they
yeah.
have those facets of the game that bring people back. So they've had to redefine it. It's not just a grid-based, turn-based RPG like it was in the older games. But honestly, I don't like the new ones. I like the way the old ones are. For the I don't need another person. I still find enjoyment. I think it's subjective, right? Just like all the
Okay.
other video
Yeah.
games. Uh, I could see in its bare bones, okay, if you don't really care about the Pokemon, I loved seeing a Pokemon called Abra. and being like, okay, that's a weird name. And then figure out, oh, the first thing he does is teleport away. Oh, that's a pun. And then, oh, the Pokemon, he goes to Abra to Kadabra, and then he goes to Alakazam, and he has no spoon. Then he has one spoon. Then at the end, he's got two spoons. Or Snorlax, obviously, he's always sleeping. Like the puns and the
Do
creativity of
you
the Pokemon, I like.
do you know why he has spoons?
Because mind bending, he's psychic, man.
No, I don't think his name was Abra in Japan. I remember reading about this when it happened. Abra Pokemon in Japan. His name is what, can they call him Casey? No, there was something about there was a famous magician named Uri Geller who was famous for bending spoons. Um, and that's why they gave him spoons.
Oh,
Anyways,
okay. But he was like a magician.
he's a magician. I thought it was clever. I thought that was pretty
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, no, I think I said psychic, but I meant like, yeah, he was like a magician,
Yeah.
mind bending. Yeah, I just didn't know of that specific magician. Anyhow, quickly, my gripe, and it's not a gripe, actually. It's not a gripe, but I actually do understand what you mentioned about last time, that this was a maybe you didn't elaborate it. I do, obviously, this is a children's game, right? I was surprised at the time investment needed to finish this game. I don't remember it being that long. And for me, I don't have an issue with it because watch, I watched Wild Card Football. And while I did that, I played Pokemon on my Steam Deck. No big deal. Doing two things at once. I don't have to fully focus on either one of them. I still had a real good time. However, if you don't have time to watch 4 hours of football while playing Pokemon, like you don't because you have a family, to carve out 4 hours or 30 hours of time, I could see how you would look at this game and it's not giving you the dopamine rush. It's not as cool as Near Automata or a Final Fantasy or a Helldivers. You don't get the same experience. And as an adult, I could see why you'd be like, that's not worth 30 hours of my time. So if you have never played before, even listeners, be prepared that like it kind of is a time investment. And if you really aren't invested in the Pokemon and what the game is truly about, the creativity, the little bit of strategy of formulating your team, if that doesn't get your Geodudes off, aka rocks, then it really may not be worth it for you. And I never thought about it until I played this time, and it kind of hit me when I had to put myself in your shoes. So thank you for expanding my mind, Alex.
Well,
Um,
so it's a double-edged sword, right? I mean, think about when Pokemon came out back in the day, right? Every game that you got on the Game Boy was a diet version of a real game. Mario 3 comes out, and that's a game that you could take you a decent amount of time to get through and play on the NES. Then you play Mario Land on the Game Boy, and it takes you an hour to beat it, right?
yeah.
There weren't games that had meat on the bones that could take you. And then imagine being a kid, you get like your one game a year and it's Pokemon, and oh my God, there's like 400 hours worth of stuff to do. Like if I'm willing to just keep playing and I'm having like a little bit of fun, and me and my friends are playing, like that's not necessarily a bad thing that there's a time investment. My issue is that for me, even I even did things like I'm gonna watch a show and play Pokemon. It felt more like a chore of like, all right, like I got to go get the next badge. Yeah, Geodude's getting stronger, but it's happening at like such a slow pace that I'm not getting that dopamine rush, right? Like when I first get Geodude and he's leveled up and I'm like knocking guys out with one tackle, that's fun. But even the combat then when it's a guaranteed win, like that's taking too long. It's taking too long. Like I need this to be moving, baby. Um,
You can turn the animations off.
I did. I turned everything
Oh,
max speed. No animations. No like slowly shifting. Like the battle's like on.
I
Boom, boom,
wish
boom.
you had a option to fast forward like I
I,
did on the Steam Deck. That
I think
helped.
I do actually on my analog pocket, but
Then you
like I
should have
didn't.
used it.
I
But you're
should have
right.
used it.
You're experiencing it the way the game was intended to be played, not written.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So to that degree, it's like man, they're saying, and I see what you're saying, where you have the time invested, right? You came into Pokemon at the right time, where you now have this like institutional knowledge of how Pokemon works in general, like how the metagame works. And so for you, it's like it is fun for you to say, like, okay, I have this thing that's going to take me about 10 hours to do. Let me work to get to that 10-hour point where I can have this team and then see how that plays out. But for me, there's a high risk that any experimentation I do will just be time lost with no benefit at the end. Right? Like
Right.
I could level Geodude up to level 50 and be like, I wonder what that's going to be like, and find out, oh, it sucks. I should have spent 50 hours doing something else. And I don't have the luxury of that because there's other games to play. There's other things I could be doing. And it really makes me wonder, like, why are people playing the new Pokemon games where, like, now gaming has moved on. We've all grown up. That do people really have the time to experiment like that still with new Pokemon games? I don't get it. So,
I mean, I played Moemon and it was 30 hours and I didn't mind it.
but you still had the institutional knowledge of like kind of guiding. You had these like mental guardrails of like, I know I need to like be moving in this direction, but the reason I'll elaborate more. Let's do the bean game, then we're gonna go to the question if we're gonna keep playing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I You explain the game. I think I'm gonna
Yeah.
freaking eat your lunch and you're gonna eat my beans.
So we're playing a game. It's called Guess the Pokemon. Some dude made it on Reddit, and it looked like it might be a fun game for us to play because we got to dole out some beans. Adam, I'm going to show you a silhouette of a Pokemon. I included all generations. There's 8 generations of
Oh,
Pokemon.
what? No, what? That's unfair.
Well,
There's
if I restrict it, okay, we need. If I do one, you're going to know them all right off the bat.
I've only even seen the first three.
Okay, we'll do. I can limit it to the first
Well,
three.
whatever. No, F it. Let's see. Because I have the cards. Maybe I'll
You have
recognize
the
I don't get
cards.
to. I'm gonna get
Okay,
wrecked. If it's
okay.
all of them, there's too many. There's like 800 Pokemon now, dude. I don't stand
I
a chance.
know. That's why. So here's the rule, Adam. If you get 3 out of the 5 right, then I eat a bean. If you get 5 out of the 5 right, I eat another bean. However, I'm also going to be playing. If I get 2 out of the 5 right, you got to eat a bean. And then if you only get 2 out of the 5 right, you have to eat a bean
This
for
is
that as well.
so confusing.
I'll
Just
keep
play
track
the
of it.
game.
We got okay. Let's set it to just 3 generations because there's no way I can get 2 right if we're working at 800 Pokemon. We'll do 3 generations. I think I can keep up that far. Let me share my screen.
I may be. I don't know. We'll see. I may eat your lunch here.
I think you have to let me share my screen.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Okay.
If it's anything Gen 1, you're screwed. Gen 2, more likely you're screwed. Gen 3, you have a chance. I might not be able to get that.
All right. Well, here we go.
Got it. What do I do here?
Oh, you got to. I guess I gotta guess the name. We're gonna
I know it
call.
for sure, so you go first.
I'm gonna call this one. Uh, flame biscuit, like sea biscuit but
Rapidash.
with flames. What is
Nope.
it?
Rapidash.
Rapidash.
Yep.
Let's see. It's Rapidash. Okay, that's one for you, Adam.
Yep.
Oh. This is
You you haven't seen
Mew,
him. He's a Gen 3.
Mewtwo. Mewtwo.
Ralts.
What the hell?
Yeah. I don't know why. Do you know surely there's gotta be a reason. Do you
What the
know
hell is that? Oh. This is oh no. What's his name? Oh God. He's okay. Here's what I know. It's Magnemite.
Yep. I mean, is that cheating since I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you.
Okay, so that's one bean for me because you got 3 right.
Uh-huh.
If I get one more, you got to eat a bean. This is Hitmonlee.
He got it. Holy crap. Have you seen him? I don't remember
I've
him.
not seen him. I've not seen him, but I know that there's a Hitmonchan named after Jackie Chan and a Hitmonlee named after Bruce Lee. So I had to guess if it was
Nice.
Chan or
Okay.
Lee.
You
So
won't
you got
get
to eat a
this one.
bean. I got 2 right. You got 4. Now this last one is going to determine if I have to eat 2 beans.
Yeah, you do. Because you don't know this. He's Gen 3.
It's not a matter if I know it. I got 2 right. You got to eat a bean regardless. What is this for you?
Skitty.
What?
Skitty.
Skitty?
Yeah.
Oh, skitty, like kitty.
Skitty. Yeah.
And it's from the back. Okay, here's what now. Okay, so I got to eat 2 beans. You
That
got
was
to
a
eat
back
one.
shot.
But I
All
want to do
right.
this. I just want to see, Adam. Can you guess this one?
Gallade, I think.
Gallade?
I think Gallade.
Wow.
Nailed
It
it.
didn't even do a guess. Okay, what's this one? We're gonna do three more.
This one, it's a turtle choodle.
Choodle?
Yeah. Chewtle.
Wow. Okay, we're done with this. We're done with this. Let's eat some beans,
Wait,
Adam.
wait. Oh, okay, yeah, that's fine. I'm gonna go back to that. Here, Alex, I'll go first. Actually, you go. You do one because we'll do one. You have to eat two, and I have to eat one, right?
Yeah, do the spin though. I don't have a spinner.
Oh, loser. Well, I gotta get a good spin on here and say. All right, for
Oh no,
it's
no.
unbelievable. It's unbelievable. The
What
first
is
one's
it?
a barf. The
That's a
first
barf?
thing, the first one's a barf. And you
Is
know it's not peach.
I
You
don't see
know
a
it's
barf in
not.
here. There we go. There's one barf in here. And there's no way they're gonna have a peach be in here with
What?
no
You're
barf.
telling me there's only one barf in the whole box?
That's a lot of toothpaste. That's a lot
What?
of
That's
toothpaste.
rigged. That's
No,
rigged.
I got a bigger box too later.
Oh,
Here we
okay.
go. Just so you know,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
barf.
I see it, dude. Oh, I feel so bad. That's gonna ruin. It's definitely gonna be. No.
Peach, baby.
There's
Mm,
only
mm,
one barf
mm,
in the
mm,
box and
mm,
it's a
mm,
peach.
mm, mm,
Oh, I
mm,
hate
mm,
you.
mm, mm.
Oh, that
That's a
is such bull crap.
all
Frick.
right, Adam. What are you eating?
I can't
Pe
spin it. There
the
it
peach
goes.
doesn't taste that good though.
Tutti Frutti
That's gonna be a
or
stinky
Stinky
shot.
Socks.
What is it?
Tutti Frutti. It's Tutti Frutti.
Did we just grab the wrong box? Okay, let's. What's my last
One
bean?
more, one more. Oh, wait. Oh,
Adam's over there chewing.
that Tutti Frutti had some stank at the
That's some
end.
funk.
Toasted marshmallow or stink bug?
Oh, stink bug's bad news,
Stink
man.
bug is bad and it lingers
That's
too.
this, right?
Yeah, it looks like that. Yeah. Oh
I'm
man,
kind of scared. This is fills up the room.
there's no way you can get two good ones, right? There's no way. There's no. Oh, get wrecked. Oh, yeah, son.
It tastes like bad coffee. Oh,
Yeah. Here's the thing, Alex. I promised I was gonna take a bean for you, folks. If you haven't played, this is off topic. Stanley Parable is on PlayStation Plus and it's free. Alex is gonna barf. Wow, is it that bad?
I have to chew it, and then it gets like bigger.
Is it barf worthy or not as bad as barf?
Not a bad bar.
Okay,
Okay,
okay.
sorry. Go ahead.
So I got Stanley Parable for free. Garbage game. Horrible. I told Alex about it. I found out you paid $30 for this game. And that is like that hurts me to my core. My soul screams for you, Alex. And I'm sorry. And because I don't know how I'm not gonna pay you 15 bucks because I feel bad for you. So I'm gonna take a bean. I'm gonna
It's
take
because the reason you're taking the bean is because I let you in on a little insight of the game because you were going to put more time into it, and I clued you in on what the game was about, and you stopped
yeah,
it. I
no,
saved you.
it's not about the time. It was about you paid 30 bucks for just an absolute garbage game. So I hope I don't pay. I get toothpaste.
For
Yeah.
the record, I don't think it's a garbage game. I'm not too upset. I'm upset that I paid the $30 and then it went on sale. I'm not too upset having paid $30 for that. I really like the game, but
It's great. Well, it's like, oh no, I got toothpaste. It just is mint. It
I
tastes
wish I
good.
had toothpaste, man. But I showed my daughter these, and she said, "Can you give me all the blue ones?"
Oh yeah.
She
Give
eats it
her all
like
the
candy.
blue
She likes the toothpaste.
ones. That's hilarious. Okay, Alex, we need to start diving into. I mean, I don't know if you have another complaint or do you just want to dive right into are we still playing this?
Well, Adam, you completed it. So you're done. And I had hoped to complete Pokemon Crystal. But what sealed the deal for me was when I was going through the game, I got to that last I got to the badge. What are there? 8 badges in the game? I got to 4. I got to the fourth
Yep.
badge.
You're
Um, and
halfway.
and I did good. I beat the tower where your rival's in there and your rival's kicking your butt. I beat him, and then the guy who has all the ghost Pokemon. You have the really annoying thing where you got to walk along the invisible floor,
Yep.
and there's no way to see it. But you make it to the second one, and it's like, guess what? Just stay right in front of us, and you'll get there. Fine. So I solved all the tricky stuff, and then I fought the gym leader there, and he had a Ghastly, and I'd fought a lot of Ghastlies, and I killed him easily. And he had what's after a Ghastly?
Haunter?
A Haunter. I fought a bunch of Haunters. They're a bit tougher, but I killed them pretty easily. And then what's after the Hunter? The next evolution of the Hunter,
Is it Gengar?
Gengar. So fight a bunch of Hunters, hanging on by a thread. Actually, I wasn't hanging on by that much of a thread. I killed about 4 Pokemon in a row without much going on. Had my Growlithe, had my Geometro, had my Quilava, had all these guys doing good. But then, for some reason, it just decided, you know what? Everybody's going to get cursed. So let's curse your Growlithe. And now your Growlithe hurts itself. Okay, pull Growlithe out. Let's get another one. Oh, we're also going to go ahead and curse your Quilava. Okay, let's pull Quilava out and let's put in a Geometric. We're going to curse him too. So they all get cursed. And they don't even hit, like once they hurt themselves, but then they just hurt themselves. They don't hurt anybody else. And then the game just decides, and also we're going to paralyze everybody too. So I start swapping them back out, trying to get them to attack, and they all just get paralyzed. And I eventually overcome that. I use some of my anti-paralyze berries, anti-confusion
Sure.
berries, anti-curse stuff. And then Gengar shows up and he uses he's weak. I got attacks that are good against weak or that are good against dark or whatever he is. He's
Yep.
weak to my attacks. He's got like Spirit Ball, kills all my guys in one hit each. And so I'm at this point now in the game where it's like there was no signposting that there was going to be this type of enemy coming up. It's a little bit of Gassy, but I made sure I had strong attacks against Ghastly, Ghosts, and stuff. But there was no real signposting that was like, this is what you got to get ready to fight against. And the only way for me to get out of this, I ran out of money, right? I bought a bunch of potions so I could fight this guy. Ran out of money. I can't grind for the money. So all I got to do is just run around this game. I had just before this, I got lost. I couldn't find the squirt bottle. Run around the game and just randomly grind to try to level up my Pokemon so I can go fight this guy again. But it might just decide. Sometimes the game decides every single statistical attack is going to land and hit your Pokemon. Sometimes it decides it's not going to, and it seems very binary. It doesn't even seem like a percentage. It seems like guess what? Today everybody gets cursed all the time. So that was it's too frustrating. It was disrespectful of my time, and it felt like it's only going to be more annoying. It's going to be more of this annoyingness moving forward. That's compounded by the fact that the only Pokemon I got excited about seeing was Growlithe, which became redundant, and Geometro, which stopped being useful very quickly. The next light at the end of the tunnel for me was get to Growlithe up to like level 36 so I could use the Firestone. But I wasn't about to grind to level 36. So the answer is, Adam, I'm not playing any more Pokemon Crystal. And
It's
I'm
funny.
sorry.
It is funny to me that the part of the game that you have to start using strategy on, which you complain that there was no strategy, is the part you don't like.
No. The thing is I was using strategy, but the strategy doesn't work because you haven't supplicated the game with enough game time yet. And that's the worst thing to me when your progress in a game is gated by just time and time alone.
Yeah,
I
but that's how RPGs work. If in Final Fantasy VII you go and you fight Sephiroth right off the bat, you're gonna get rocked. You need
but
to
you
like play more. You gotta level up.
but I don't like grinding for grinding's sake. I love Persona, but this is why I bounced off Persona. Is because you get to a point where it's like, guess what? I know you've done everything right and you're doing everything right and you have all the stuff you need, but we just need you to play the game for 10 more hours. We don't even care what you do. You just need to walk around in circles for 10 more hours and then you can play the game more. And that's what Pokemon got me to this point. And when I don't like the basic gameplay loop and it's saying, we're just not going to let you do anymore until you just do this annoying thing you've been doing for the past 10 hours. If you just do it for 10 more hours, then you can play some more. No. That's disrespectful to my time. I'm not having a good time with this. Maybe if I had friends and I was like battling with my friends and leveling up Pokemon battling, that would make the progression more enjoyable. But as it stands, I'm not going to play Pokemon by itself. and I'm not going to play this. I got too much going. There's too many better things for me to be doing in my time than to run around in circles in Goldenrod City, hoping I run into a Pokemon to fight because I already fought all the trainers, and hoping that I can level up my guys enough so that they don't get instantly cursed.
You can't. It's part of the strategy. We have to move on though. Fine. Understand there's other games to play. You get to pick. I think what game we're playing next.
Yeah. Next game we're playing, Adam. I'll give you the description. It's a thrilling sci-fi adventure. The year is unknown, and a disease spread by an alien invasion keeps you underground. You are Watcher. You dutifully fulfill your purpose in serving the All-Mother until the day you discover a shocking secret that changes everything. The game is developed by Sunset Visitor and published by fellow traveler. Adam, you're going to like this. The estimated time to complete the game is 11 hours. Completionists finish it in 14 hours. So that means we're going to do what? 3 hours? 4 hours
Yeah,
for our
it's not
first
much.
segment?
Yeah.
The game is $20 on Steam. It's Steam Deck compatible. It's also
Okay.
on Nintendo Switch if you want to play there. Just to whet your appetite, Adam, the game was nominated this year for Best Storytelling, Best PC Game of the Year, and for Game of the Year of 2024.
I don't
The game
understand
is
what you're doing here. Just tell me what the game is. I don't
the game is 1,000 times resist. 1,000 times resist.
never even heard of it. I don't understand what this whole thing was. Are you trying to convince me it's good before I play? Like, I don't know.
I'm
I would
just
rather
getting you
you just say
excited.
we're playing 1,000 year resist or whatever it's called. I go in blind. I mean, what you just said, I didn't ignore you, but it didn't register. You might as well not said anything. I'm gonna buy it tonight. I'll play 3 hours by the end of the effing weekend. You want to do a podcast on Monday?
Maybe. I'll play it tonight. I'm
Have you
excited
played
about it.
this?
No, I have not. I've heard
Okay,
people
cool.
talk about it. I've not
So
touched
good,
it.
good. I like that now we both are on the same page here. So it could suck.
It could suck, but it's short, and I've heard so many great things about it. I'm excited. I'm excited.
Okay. I've been looking for a game to play. This is great. I will buy it tonight and I will play it. 3 hours? 4 hours? What do we want to do?
Let's do four. It's a short game. 4 hours, about
Yeah, I
halfway
feel like
through.
that's
Yeah.
fair. Yeah, yeah.
All right. Well, Adam, thank you for the opportunity to play Pokemon Crystal. I would have never played a Pokemon game. I don't want to. I don't think that my opinion of Pokemon games changed too much, but I do feel like I can make an educated assessment of whether or not I enjoy Pokemon games without having to guess. Are you disappointed in the result?
No, I don't think so. I understand why it doesn't register. I do think some of my love was nostalgia. I do think you can't fully say you understand a Pokemon game because I do feel like you need to get into more of the end game. But I hate that you got in the first roadblock and then you quit. Like you got to push through.
I can get through it. I can get through the roadblock. I just have no desire to, especially when we have other things that we could be
Sure,
doing.
yeah, that's fair. That's why I'm not going to push back. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah,
But for
but
you
I
to
will.
fully appreciate Pokemon, you got to get through that, and then at some point you will have a team that will never happen to you again because you're stacked and you've anyhow. That's a strategy. That's fine.
Maybe I'll come
1,000
back to
year
it.
reign or whatever it's called.
1,000 times resist. 1,000x resist. Yeah.
Just send it to me. Text it to me.
It's a bad name. I'll say that. It's a bad name. Adam, I will say, I understand why you like Pokemon much, much more than I understand why you like Kingdom Hearts. So you have a victory there.
What? What?
With that, I'm going to take us out, Adam. Any last words?
I'll let Flygons be Flygons.
All right. Well, thank you for listening to our Pokemon Crystal episodes of Gaming is in Session. If you love Pokemon, send us an email, leave us a comment, give us some insight into why this game is worth playing. And if you hate Pokemon, send us your Venmo. I'll send you $5 for being so damn right. But either way, reach out to us on youtube.com/@gamingisin-session or email us contact@playpsvr.com. Reach around your computer and smash that like button, smash that subscribe button. Reach into your phone book and call up your auntie and tell her that gaming is in session and it has all the answers to her Pokemon Crystal questions. And if she doesn't like what we have to say, then she can
Tell it to the judges. Blammo!